Hi, welcome to Spec Hunter. I'll be honest, I never thought there was a strong reason to move from the Canon C70 to the Canon C80. I still think the C70 is more than enough for most people. But after using the C80, it feels bittersweet. Not because it replaces the C70, but because it replaces one of our favorite cinema cameras, the Canon C300 Mark III. That camera gave us some of our best images, but the industry has changed. Today, smaller cameras with faster setups are taking the lead. We've seen it in our own work. Our business is split into two sides. On one side, we shoot luxury weddings. On the other, we produce commercial content for brands that live on social media. For weddings, we never needed full RAW workflows. Long-GOP XFAVC has been fine, especially with 10-bit color. For commercial work, we always needed RAW for full color control in post. That mix of needs shaped our gear choices. At one point, I was shooting weddings with a Mo-Vi Pro and a ready rig, carrying heavy setups, and lighting first dances with a full aperture kit. It was fun, but not always practical. We even shot weddings in RAW for a while, but that didn't last long. By 2020, we shifted to the C70. It gave a small size, great color, and eventually RAW recording through updates. At the same time, we added the C300 Mark III for commercial projects. That camera was beautiful, but as the C70 got better, we found ourselves reaching for it more often. The C80 has now replaced the C300 Mark III in our kit, and surprisingly, it has become my favorite camera to use. After a month of shooting with it, I thought I would miss DGO and feel unsure. Instead, the opposite happened. The C80 is inspiring. It has made me want to film more. It feels like one of the best tools Canon has ever made for people like us. Before I go deeper, let me say, if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It really helps the channel. And if you want to see more of our work and behind the scenes, check us out on Instagram. Now let's talk about why the C80 feels so good. First, the ergonomics. The camera is light, compact, and fits perfectly into a modern production style. The menu is fast and easy. The flip screen is sharp, bright, and reliable. Buttons are well placed. The grip feels natural. Everything about handling this camera feels like it was designed for speed. The battery life is excellent. You can shoot long sessions without worrying about swapping. The dual SD card slots make media management easy, and you don't need expensive cards. Then there's the I/O. Canon gave the C80 everything you need without overcomplicating it. Full HDMI instead of micro HDMI, which is a big win. Professional XLR audio through the top handle, plus mini XLRs if you need to stay light. USB-C with charging and data transfer. Timecode in and out. The ports are strong, simple, and don't require extra rigs. It feels like Canon actually thought about real-world use. The autofocus is another major highlight. Canon's dual-pixel AF has always been reliable, but the C80 takes it further. Face and eye tracking are fast, accurate, and dependable. Even in tricky low-light wedding situations or high-contrast commercial shoots, it just locks on. You can trust it. That makes handheld shooting easier, and it makes solo work more realistic. Now let's talk about the image. The C80 doesn't have DGO like the C70 or C300 Mark III, but Canon included the new BSI sensor with better performance in low light. The dynamic range is still strong, and the colors are classic Canon. The skin tones look natural and pleasing right out of camera. The C80 also includes Canon RAW light in different compression levels, plus XFAVC. That means you can pick the right format for your workflow. For weddings, I stick with XFAVC for smaller files and quick delivery. For commercial shoots, I switch to raw light for full flexibility in grading. The choice is powerful. Another key upgrade is internal cooling. The C80 has an active cooling system, so you don't need to worry about overheating on long shoots. You can run it all day. This is a big deal for live events or interviews where reliability matters more than anything. Combined with long battery life, you feel safe knowing the camera won't quit. Rolling shutter performance is also much improved. With fast movements, whip pans, or quick action, the skew is very controlled. That makes handheld work look cleaner. For people shooting fast, paced events or sports, this is huge. Canon also gave the C80 a multi-accessory shoe, which supports new accessories like digital audio inputs and top handles. That adds flexibility for different setups. Whether you want to stay small and light, or build it into a larger rig, you can. Now let's be honest. It's not a perfect camera. Losing DGO hurts if you love the high dynamic range look of the C300 Mark III. Also, the EVF is missing, so you'll need an external solution if you prefer that style. The slow motion options are solid but not groundbreaking. The crop factor is also something you'll notice in certain modes. But for me, these downsides don't outweigh the benefits. What stands out is how complete the C80 feels for both weddings and commercial work. For weddings, it gives me reliable autofocus, long record times, simple codecs, and a compact build that won't exhaust me after a long day. For commercial shoots, it gives me raw light, excellent color, and enough resolution for big projects. I can take this one camera and trust it for nearly everything we do. And then there's the joy factor. The C80 makes me want to shoot. I pick it up, and it doesn't feel like work. It feels like creativity. That's hard to describe, but it's real. Some cameras feel like tools, others feel like partners. The C80 feels like a partner. It makes production smoother, editing easier, and the final product better. If you're coming from the C70, you might not need to upgrade. The C70 is still excellent. But if you're like me and you've been running both a C70 and a C300 Mark III, the C80 is the perfect balance. It's smaller, lighter, more flexible, and it gives you nearly everything you need in one body. I thought I would miss the C300, but I don't. Instead, I feel like the C80 opened a new chapter in how I work. It also fits into the bigger trend of filmmaking. We're moving away from huge rigs and long setups. Clients expect faster turnarounds. Shooters need to move quicker and lighter. The C80 matches that shift perfectly. It's not just about specs, it's about how those specs let you work. In that sense, it feels like one of the most modern cinema cameras Canon has ever released. To sum it up, the C80 is not revolutionary, but it is refined. It combines the best of what we loved about the C70, improves it with new features, and gives us enough from the C300 line to replace a bigger, heavier setup. It's not the camera for everyone, but for people like us, it's close to perfect. So that's why, after a month of shooting, the C80 has become my favorite camera. It's reliable, flexible, inspiring, and fun. It has everything I need for weddings, and everything I want for commercial shoots. And most importantly, it makes me excited to create again.